Dumelang, Absheni Ralocha Sanwanani Mulweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. 5 ways insecure white people alienate their black colleagues. Straight from the horse's mouth. Now, recently, a video circulated featuring a man sharing his candid thoughts on how insecure white people alienate their black colleagues, right? Now, his breakdown of 5 specific ways this happens was actually eye-opening, right? And honestly, for me, it left me reflecting on my own experiences and observations, right? As a black South African, it's all too familiar. The subtle and the not so subtle ways that insecure white colleagues undermine, isolate, and exclude black professionals in the workplace. And it's not always overt, right? But the effects are real and lasting. And what this man describes in his video is quite telling. And telling about the exclusion of Black people, their perspectives, and the lack of access to leadership opportunities, often intentionally, right? I mean, growing in South Africa, I've seen the impact of these behaviors in both professional and academic settings, right? The legacy of apartheid continues to shape how black people are treated in spaces of power, and also the dynamics is still alive and well even in post apartheid South Africa. While it may look different in other countries, especially in more integrated societies, right, the underlying racial dynamics are still, I believe, are still the same. Insecure white people, both consciously and unconsciously, honestly tends to alienate black people, especially when it threatens their own sense of security and dominance in the space, right? But let me stop right there and let's check this video out and come and discuss.
Throughout my professional life, I've observed 5 ways that white people alienate black people in the office. My name's Curious Ben. I'm your capacity coach. Let me explain. 1. They accidentally leave them out of emails. I've seen this happen so many times, this sociopathic type of accident that allows white people to have the upper hand on information that they share with each other while not including their black co-workers. Number 2, they develop leadership teams that don't include any black people. If your leadership team doesn't include any black people, how are you truly going to represent all your employees with your leadership vision and communication? Number 3, they create cliques that don't include any of their black co-workers and then have the goddamn capacity to say, why do all the black people eat together? Number 4, they hire and promote people that they're comfortable with, people with similar communication styles, and this means either white people or black people are able to navigate whiteness without upsetting the white people's comfort. And number 5, they create such a toxic environment for black employees that black employees quit and move on. So white people, if you're really serious about creating workplaces that represent the communities you live in, you're going to have to tackle these 5 ways that you're currently alienating black people in the workplace. I hope this helps. Stay compassionate.
Now, let's be real, right? In many industries, especially here in South Africa, leadership positions are still predominantly held by white people. Despite black professionals being more qualified, I personally witnessed situations where black colleagues were passed over for promotions or leadership roles, despite even being clearly more capable and simply because of the color of their skin. And the lack of representation in decision making spaces actually leaves many black employees feeling invisible and undervalued, right? And what these 5 points remind us is of that insecurity. When it's about race, status, or power, right, it always manifests in damaging ways for black colleagues. And the alienation that comes from this behavior isn't just uncomfortable, but it's destructive to both individual careers and organizational cultures. Insecure white colleagues who engage in these behaviors don't just harm black employees. They hinder the growth of the entire organization by denying it the diverse perspective and the leadership that could drive real change. Now, as a Black South African, I think it's clear that this is actually a global issue, right? Whether it's in America or Europe or here in the African continent, right? Black people are constantly navigating spaces where our abilities and ideas and presence are often questioned. And I believe we deserve to be in these spaces, right? Not just as tokens of expectations, but as fully qualified individuals. We need to hold ourselves and our colleagues accountable for creating inclusive spaces that truly value the contributions that we bring. What are your thoughts on this? Please, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. We really want to hear from you. And while you're at it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye.